Shalom uvracha. Right now, we're right before Shabbos, Parshas Yitro, Kabbalas HaTorah, and we're within 30 days of Purim. So I wanted to share a Rav Hutner idea that connects both of these points. When Esther speaks about the Gezerah against the Am Yisrael, she says, "Kinimkarnu ani va'ami lahashmid laharog la'abed," which the Gra says refers to three different Gezeros. Number one, lahashmid, shmad, a decree that the Jews are not allowed to keep Torah and mitzvos. Laharog, the decree that the Jews should be killed. Ula'abed, there was a third decree, says the Gra, that the Jews, after they would be killed, would not be allowed to be buried. Something that sounds very strange. Sadly enough, we can relate to it in our times. Baruch Hashem, we saw the return of the last hostage that was killed on October 7th. We saw him return to Eretz Yisrael for proper burial last week. And here we find something very strange. Part of the Gezerah at the time of Purim, part of the decree against the Am Yisrael was that the Jews should not be allowed to be buried. What is that idea, asks Rav Hutner. And he starts off his explanation with a halacha in a Shulchan Aruch in Choshen Mishpat, a difference between buying wheat and buying wine. We find that when we buy wheat, the halacha is that the kli has to be provided by the buyer, as opposed to in wine, the kli for the wine has to be provided by the mocher. Why the difference? Because Rav Hutner explains that in yayin, the aging process is an intrinsic value of the yayin. We find the Gemara in Megillah Daf Tesvav that Yosef HaTzadik sends back to his father, to Yaakov Avinu, Yayin Yoshon Shedas Skenim Nocha Himenu. Skenim, who know the value of aging, appreciate a wine that is a yayin yashan, a wine that has aged. So since the aging process is part of the value of the wine, so therefore, says Rav Hutner, the kli in which it aged is part of the yayin, and therefore the halacha is that in yayin, the mocher has to provide as well the jug in which the yayin aged to the lokeach, to the buyer. And from there, Rav Hutner takes us to Kabbalas HaTorah. At Maimon Har Sinai, the pasuk says in Shir Hashirim, "Heviyani el Beis Hayayin," which the Medrash says the Beis Hayayin is referring to Har Sinai, the great Martef Shel Yayin, the great wine cellar Zeh Sinai, because there at Har Sinai, all of the sod, all of the inner, the pnimius of the world, what's inside, Nichnas Yayin v'yotza sod, all of the real inner, the depth of the meaning of life of the world was revealed to the world at Har Sinai. And here Rav Hutner then goes from the Kabbalas HaTorah of Har Sinai to the Kabbalas HaTorah of Purim, when we re-accepted Torah. And on Purim, Rav Hutner points out that the yayin is not just a mashal, like it is at Kabbalas HaTorah at Har Sinai, but in the story of Purim, the yayin is the nimshal. The story started off with the Mishta Shel Yayin. And then the Yeshua came about at the Mishta Shel Yayin, where Esther ended up making her request. And we celebrate the Yeshua through Yayin. Therefore, says Rav Hutner, since it's the Nimshal and not the Mashal, the Kabbalas HaTorah of Purim is through the nace happened through Yayin. So therefore, Yayin, we get the Kli, we celebrate the Kli as well. What is the Kli? We're talking about body and soul. Says Rav Hutner, the Kli is the Guf. On Purim, we're celebrating the Kedushas HaGuf, the fact that we can have a full connection here of holiness of the soul and holiness of the body, the Kedushas HaGuf. And that is what Amalek realized as well. Haman realized that there's something here that the Jews are trying to attain, a higher level of Kedusha, of even recognizing the Kedusha of the Guf. And therefore, that was part of the decree of Haman, that the guf should not be buried, the vessel, the guf, the body, should not be allowed to be buried. And in our celebration of Purim Imkein, we have a full Kabbalas HaTorah of the neshama and the guf connecting to Dvar Hashem. May we be zacha. Have a wonderful Shabbos.
Good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos.